All right, hey everybody, we are back. We're going to do a nitpick video on this, okay? We're going to dive in. This is actually my video I did on the Trail Hunter. And what I mean by a nitpick, we're going to tear this thing apart. So we're going to dive in and go over the stuff that we do like, or that we don't like, okay? The stuff that we don't like. So, and I'm going to do this not just for the Tacoma, so don't think I'm being biased and ripping on the Tacoma. I'm going to do this for all vehicles. I think it'll be a fun thing to do, but it'll also be very valuable for anybody looking to buy any new vehicle. If we take this thing, because I do such detailed walkarounds and impressions and dive into these things so much, it would be good to just put together a video that kind of highlights all the stuff that you might want to think about or might be concerned about, the negatives. And then eventually maybe we'll do some pros. But this is, we're starting with the Tacoma because there's a lot of stuff about this one that kind of upsets me here, including the price. So we're going to start here, but believe me, we're going to do this for all vehicles. So don't think I'm just being nitpicky on the Tacoma. We are just starting with this one. There will be more to follow. I am an unbiased truck owner. I drive all kinds of them. I've owned every brand. It's not like that. So this is not just crushing on Toyota. We're going to crush on all the brands. And we're going to find what we can tear it apart for in any kind of level. And we're going to make a video about it. That's what we're going to do. So what I've done here, we got the video here that I'm talking about. And what I've done is I went through and grabbed a bunch of screenshots. We're going to pull them up and we are going to use those screenshots. So we have them here. So as we're looking at this here, first one right off the bat, we got 36 screenshots we're going to go through that came from this video. First thing that I am it's nitpicky, but it bugs me that I do not trust it, is going to be this front shock mount, okay? I do not like how flimsy this front shock mount is on here, okay? How thin this metal is here. Now, yes, it is boxed in and it is closed, and I get that, but this kind of freaks me out. I don't know if I trust this little bitty thing that we're seeing on here, this little mount that's on this thing right here. This just kind of, that doesn't sit comfortable with me. I'll show you the third gen. It sits in here differently. I don't know if that's actually our next one we have in the mix here or not. It is. So if we look at it here, look at on the third gen, it was thicker, beefier, and it sat right on top of that control arm. It was right here. So it was well done and well set up. This is a third gen Tacoma. On this one, this thing kind of freaks me out down here a little bit. I'm not quite sure that I'm comfortable with how thin that whole assembly is on there. And again, we are going to nitpick and tear this thing apart. We are going to do it for all trucks. Do not get mad at me for this, okay? I'm just going through. It is what it is, and it's my observations after I go through, because when I'm making these videos, like this one that we just saw, when I'm out here making this, I'm recording everything, and I'm doing it, and I'm paying attention, and I'm making things happen, and I'm not capturing everything that's going on. Like you guys caught the bolt on the rock slider wasn't even all the way in. I didn't even notice that because I was holding the camera. I wasn't looking through the camera. I was just holding the camera down like underneath, so I didn't even see it. So it's when I go back and watch these that I can really dive into the stuff that we're seeing. So, and that's what we're basically going to do. So we know that one right there off the bat. We're going to move on from there. We already just showed you that one. And here, now the tire size. All the tire sizes suck on all the Tacomas. Not size, sorry. The tire quality they're putting on them. This is supposed to be the Trail Hunter Die-Hard $67,000 true off-road warrior, and these are the tires they chose to put on it. Okay, that's not good. Okay, this tire choice sucks really bad. And anybody who buys this truck is immediately going to rip these off and put more tires on. That adds another $1,800 to $2,000, especially if they go a little bit bigger, like to a 34 or even a 35, and they're going to have to change out the spare too. You're looking at $2,000 more money that you have to pay because they chose to put these junk tires on them. Now, they're not junk road tires. They're a good, okay, all-terrain tire, but on this truck, no reason for these to be on there. No reason whatsoever. And they chose to do it. That kind of upsets me. Next one we got on here that we're going to go into right here. The spare tire on here at least matches on this Trail Hunter. As you can see, the spare tire buried up in here. At least on this one, it is the same. But on all the other models, which you will see in one of the slides here, it is not. We will talk about it when we get to it. But that's, you know, the other models don't come with the matching spare. They come with this cheap junk spare tire, which is kind of upsetting for the price of what the Tacoma is. Moving on from there. This gap here, notice this gap on here is very small on this side. See how this is not too bad right here? On the other side, it's huge. You can actually even see light through it. It's massive. I do not like the gaps that are all around this truck. It just, and it catch my eye like crazy, these things that are just bugging me on there. But the fit and finish definitely leaves a lot to be desired on here. You'll see some more examples of that. But this gap, this is the good one. This is not bad at all. We'll take this. That's expected. Wait till you see that as a comparison to the next one that we come across. Here's that bolt that you guys mentioned. It is not in all the way on the rock slider. This is a rock rail that is connected on here, and this is in. And you notice it all over the truck. They got all these paint marks. You'll see them in other things on the frame, but they're checking. These are paint pens checking and proving that this has been torqued. This has been checked. Okay, you'll see those all over on the truck here in here. Somehow this one got by because that thing is barely hanging on right there, and that's not good. You're right, but simple. It could just a little thing that slipped through quality control. You wish it didn't, but I mean, I'm not knocking it for that. But you guys pointed it out in the comments on the video a lot. This rack. Okay, this rack is absolutely pointless. I cannot put a tonneau cover on here. They're probably, because this is ARB, they're probably charging you $2,500 to $3,000 for this rack that every single person that owns this truck is going to take this entire thing right off the truck so they can either put an actual bed rack in here or they can put a tonneau cover on it or a RSI cap or anything they're going to do with it. This thing here is the biggest waste of money. They should have never put this on here. This serves zero purpose. Yes, you can strap a few things on here, but everybody's going to take this off. This was a major waste of money. They should have just got rid of this thing completely from the beginning and gave us that $2,500 or $3,000 off the crazy sticker price of this vehicle. My opinion. Moving on from there, these gaps, okay, these tailgate gaps, there are gaps all over this truck, like I said, that are pretty dang big. They're just huge gaps. If you put a tonneau cover on here, there's no way this thing's not going to get water and dirt and stuff in there. It's the gaps on all of this stuff is really big on this truck that you wouldn't expect to see that sort of thing. So now here's that other one. Look at this one. Look at the side we saw over there earlier. Okay, let's go back to that real quick here for you. Let me find it right here. Look at this one. Okay, so if we look at this right here, look at that side. Okay, and now let's go jump ahead and look at this side here. Look at the difference here. Okay, when you stand back, I can see daylight pouring through this thing when you look at it from a side view. You'll see it. But I mean, some of these things are just, and again, maybe it's nitpicky, but we are nitpicking this car, this truck. We're ripping it apart. We're going to do that to all of the trucks as I can, when I can, but we are thrashing it on purpose because this is the stuff that people can use to help choose their decisions. Everybody out there is going to tell you how great the horsepower is, how great the torque is, how good the steering is, how nice this is. We're going to make one rather than be, here's my top 5 complaints. We're going to just crush the truck. Okay, and we're going to rip it apart, and we're going to do it to all of them. It will not be it is non-biased right now, so do not get mad at me. So moving on from here, the front skid plate. The front skid plate is horrible with its design of shoveling effect on here, okay? They should have curled this thing up and hit it behind this plastic valance, but you can see here, this is the skid plate, and you can see that it has this super sharp edge that comes right along here and hangs down a few inches lower than the rest of the truck. This is going to scoop mud, scoop sand. Water is going to just hit that and get channeled up right into everything. There is no reason that this big thing here is going to get hung up on rocks. There's no reason at all for this skid plate to be designed with this huge shovel on the front of it. It's just it's a bad design, and I don't like it, not even a little bit. Next one on here we got is the tow hooks. Okay, you can see the tow hooks right here. There's no reason for these tow hooks to be buried that far back in. They put ARB ones on the back of this thing on the Trail Hunter. On the Trail Hunter, these should have been extended way out forward. Look at how far back underneath all of this is that you got to hook onto to be able to pull this thing out. Unless it is a straight line puller, this thing is sunk in the back end with its nose in the air. You're gonna rip everything off pulling this. If this is nose down in a hole and you got to pull it from here, you're gonna be breaking all kinds of plastic and valances and things like that off on this. Is not gonna be good. So that's definitely a bummer there. Next thing we got on here is the this battery. Okay, this hybrid thing. This hybrid, people might like it. There is zero storage underneath this seat. There is no storage in this vehicle whatsoever on the inside because of this massive battery that is in here, and it bumps the seat height up really high, and there's no, so you'll see there's no headroom in this thing either, but there is no storage underneath here. Absolute disappointment on a total lack of storage inside this truck. And then also, look at how tight this space is. Okay, there is no room in this truck either. Now, they might have, you see they put this arch in here to give you a little bit more knee room in here like that in the seat. But you'll see in a minute, there's no room between the back of this plastic, the back of this seat, and for you, the front of this one for your toes. You cannot fit your feet in here without your calf muscles just getting crammed into this. You'll see an example of it. But very bad design legroom-wise in here as far as this is. Look at how thick these seats are. Did they need to be that thick? Could this have maybe been cut down another 3 inches somehow and gave you a little more room in here? I don't know. Could this have maybe been cut back a little bit to give you more room in here? I don't know. But this is a major bummer in here. The back seat of this thing sucks. Next one here, no rear AC vents. Did we mention we're paying $67,000 for this? And look at how this weird two-piece cut line is in here, and it's cheap, flimsy looking, but no vents, not even a storage pocket, not a nook, not a cranny. Nope, we get nothing there. There's no anything here. We got 2 cup holders, which is nice, but we have nothing happening for AC vents in the back on this vehicle. Moving on from there. Also notice that the floor mats do not go across the rear hump back here. Okay, there's no floor mats that cross over this section of it. There's a floor mat down there and one on this side, but nothing that crosses through here. I think you see that right here, floor mat here. But there's nothing in the middle. It does not wrap across that center console or that transmission hump that's in here, which means this is a lot of vacuuming. That's a bummer. Now, when we come around to the front on here, oh, the glove box. Okay, the glove box. And it's not just on this one. It's like that also. I will show you when we get to the other models I screenshot from some of my other Tacoma videos I've done on the TRD Sport. This glove box design is like this in all of them, and it is horrible. Okay, that whole rattling. I'll link the videos at the end of this for you to watch, so you can actually go watch my actual videos that we did here on this. But and I wonder if I can find that spot right here with that right here. Just watch this real quick. Okay, watch this glove box here. Look at this. Look. Okay, I mean that is unbelievable. I mean that is just going to rattle down the road. Unbelievable. Okay, so we got that thing to contend with there, which was pretty crazy. I did not like. The floor mats are horrible. I'll show you a close up of that too. They're absolutely very, very bad. So we'll scroll into that one right now. I think there's that. Look at a gap around this glove box. I mean, what were they thinking here with this gap around the glove box? And there's a lot of big gaps in here. Look at this is nice and tight. Look at a big gap here. You see a lot of this stuff around the infotainment center. You'll see it on the other side. The fit and finish is definitely falling short, especially, and again, we would accept it had it been a $40,000 truck. Okay, or like the right now you can get a Colorado, you can get a Ranger, you can get a Frontier, you can get any of these trucks, you can get them for like below 40 grand. You can get them for like 38, 36, 35, $37,000. Yet these are coming in even at a base. They're like 44,000 for even, they're like 40 grand for 2-wheel drive versions. Okay, this truck is very expensive. And this stuff, I mean, this is horrible. Look at that around that glove box. I mean, come on. This is not good stuff. When it came to the fit and finish, we got a lot of fails inside this vehicle here. Look at a floor mat. Look at the thickness of these floor mats, and there is no way to contain anything. There's no lips, no edges to contain salt, mud, snow, slush, spills, anything. They're flat, boring, and look at how thin that floor mat is. Never seen nothing like it. Now, I'll bet they're charging you like $250 for them. Worst floor mats I've ever seen. Look at that. Just unbelievable. All right, so moving on here, where we at on this? Okay, and this panel on here, which is nice and comfortable, but it's still, in its soft touch, which is nice. This whole thing rocks up and down and moves all over. I think that should be right here in this video, too. Let me see if I get right here. Okay, so here it is. Watch, we're going to check this thing out. Yeah, it's nice, but watch me wiggle this with just a little bit of movement. Look, watch, because I can feel it. I can feel, watch this, look at that. Okay, I don't know if it's just glued on or what. I don't know, but I don't like that. It's just, it bothers me. I don't trust that that's going to stay on there very well. Again, maybe personal opinion, but it is my video, and I am nitpicking this thing like I'm going to do to all of them. No, here's those front tow hooks. You can see it. Look at how far back those front tow hooks are on their Trail Hunter model. Yet on the back, they somehow managed to put the nice big ARB ones on the back, but on the front, they didn't care about it and left them tucked way back under there. And then look at here. You can even see that shoveling effect of that front skid plate. It is a shovel. It is a flat spade shovel that is going to scoop up everything. And now the center console in here too. This is really bad. The center console is not only super shallow, they just got a little piece of felt in there and all the bolt holes are under it. So anything that you set in there, like if you were to throw a roll of change in there or something like that, or like even a AA battery, it's going to just sink into one of these little holes that are in here. I show you that in here right there. It's just going to drop right in. It's just a little piece of felt over that. So it's not even a flat hard bottom. Okay, this whole thing, like if you were to throw a set of keys in here, they're going to sink into one of these holes and crinkle up your felt that's in there. It's a bad design. It should have been a hard plastic bottom in there, not just this little flimsy piece of felt that's in there. Again, things that are upsetting, but major miss on this. And there's no upper tray to hold any of your coins or anything like that in here. There's no I mean, it's just one little short, shallow hole. It makes no sense whatsoever. No cute little measurement tools, no pen holders, no coin holders, no USB, no USB-C, no 12 volt, no nothing in there. There's nothing. And we are in a $67,000 truck, and it's nothing in there. It's unbelievable. And in this thing here, so it's got a little pouch here. It's like a little pocket right there. Okay, that's pretty neat. But what you're seeing me here is me touching this stuff. Again, I don't know. You can watch the video. I'll look real quick to see if we can find that in here fast somewhere. Was right before I get out. Right here. So watch when I here's that little pouch or that little pocket thing in here. Okay, so I'm going to hit this. Let me turn up, and there's that little pocket. But watch when I put this back in and I start pushing on the side, not that cap, but watch when I push on the side of this thing. Watch all this move. Look at all that whole thing move. That plastic is so thin and flimsy all around that little compartment, just very thin, flimsy, and it, you know, that just weirds me out on that stuff that it's not better than that. And again, you look at the fit and the finish gaps and the stuff that's in here get kind of annoying when you start really looking at them. And like I said, I'm kind of a sucker for that sort of stuff. Here's that part I was showing you where my toes are jammed all the way into the seat. My calves are smashed against the back seat. And this doesn't even have to do with the knee room. There's no foot room. This comes out so far that it just jams up here and it jams up there, and this is a pretty miserable place to be in the back of this thing. I don't like it. It's not a good way to be or a good place to be. The back seat of this thing is not good. And then moving on from there, headroom. Like I said, I am only 5'6". Imagine if you were 6 foot tall. Now, these seats are not adjustable back here in the back, but look at how high up I am above the driver's seats. But there is no headroom back here. There's some indentions. You can see it. Put a couple of indentions in the roof, but the headroom in here for anybody that's over 5'7", 5'8", that would be a little bit taller than me, the back seat room is horrible. Okay, it's going to be horrible back there because they have that big battery and they had to raise that seat up. But it is super cramped back there. Again, for a short person like me, it's kind of neat to be up that high, but most people will hate that. And then here on the truck, another little things that, like on the other side is perfect. On this side, notice this gap right here. It kind of bugs me a little bit. It's not big deal, but see how these don't align? You'll notice it from different angles too, but see how this one is up high and this one is down low? Not a huge deal, but when you look at it from different angles, it really kind of grabs your attention and you see that these two are not lined up real well. Something that just, again, kind of bugs me on there. And then when we roll into here, this is on the other truck now, but notice this exhaust. Now on the Trail Hunter, they got rid of it and they did a cutback exhaust. Okay, so that's nice. Also notice on here too, as I mentioned earlier, let's move this over here a little bit here if I can. Can I? I don't know if I can. No, I cannot. Hold on. Let me zoom out a little bit. Look at, you can see daylight coming through that crack back here by the back bumper. I told you it was so wide. You can actually see the daylight coming between the truck and that. That's how bad that is. That was pretty significant there too, and kind of bugged me. And then on here, that exhaust on the regular models hangs down very, very low and is going to get taken out when you're off-roading on anything. Now on the Trail Hunter, they got rid of it and cut it back and have it dumped back in there. But on all the other versions, it is hanging down low right there, which you will see. Here is the spare tire that is on the standard edition model. This was on a TRD Sport. Look at that spare tire. Some generic junk, whatever, spare. But, I mean, you're paying this much money for a truck and you get this weird... I wouldn't trust a spare for very long. I don't like it, not even a little bit. And I don't think they should have gave it to us as this one. And then here's the non-skid plate on a TRD Sport. It's flimsy, like fuzzy cardboard, as Sarah and Toon would say. She'd call them fuzzy cardboard, but that's basically what it is. Super flimsy, more like a noise guard or a splash guard, but like I said, very reminds me of the stuff they put underneath the F-150s that are not a FX4 version. Horrible stuff that you see hanging down and ripped off all the time. And then even on the TRD Off-Road, it's the same exact thing as this. However, it's made out of a very thin, flexible, flimsy plastic that's not good. So that's not a good setup. Now, the seat does fold all the way back on there, which is pretty nice in this Tacoma. However, they left the back of this as just flat, boring little thin carpet. Why do we not have plastic on here? If you're going to sell it and brag about it being lay flat back seats that you can put gear on, how about putting some plastic on here like you did in the other one, the 3rd gen, where you could put gear on this and have it where it's not going to beat anything up. And, you know, but put a plastic shelf or guard across the back of these so anything you put in here sits. Right now your fingers wiggle into every indentation on the back of this seat and it's not good. This should have been on there. And here is the only storage that you have back here behind the seat in here. Now this is a non-hybrid one, so that's okay. You got storage back here and here. That's good. On the hybrid, all you have is this little pocket here because this is a speaker. So you only got a little bit right there. But in this one, the non-hybrid version, you got good storage over here, some good storage here. And then we also have, you'll see the storage in a minute, but look at this. The non-hybrid, this is ridiculous. See this little seat strap thing down here? Look at how crazy ridiculous this is. Okay, so the seat, when you put the base of the seat up, it will not stay up on its own. This seat will not stay. If you push it up and let it go, it falls right back down. Okay, this is the back seat. You have to pull this strap out of this sleeve and then strap it and snap it to here to hold the seat up for you so you can get stuff out of the back seat. When you're done, you got to unsnap it, fish the strap back through here to keep it there. This is a weird, look at this just haphazardly sewn on the side of the seat. I've never seen such a ridiculously stupid thing in my entire life. There should have been like the other trucks and either it stays up on its own or it's got a little locking lever on there. This is just the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a truck before, but it does have, the non-hybrid version does have very good storage in the bed or under the back seat. Very good storage. If you get the hybrid one, you lose all of this storage is gone. You get nothing under either of the seats. Here you get it. That's nice. Here's showing you again, even in this one, look at how tight. You might have knee space up here, but look at how tight it is from this edge to the back seat. You can't even fit your feet in here very good. This is jammed. This is uncomfortable, jammed in there. You get good storage, but you have zero room back here. Very, very tight. You can see it again right here. Very tight space between this base of the seat and there. And then the seat folds over even more. And like I said, your calves are crunched and it's kind of weird back there. And I think we got one more to show, and that was that seat strap again where that goes on there. And that's going to cover all of our stuff that we're showing on this thing here that we went through and did. But like I said, we're going to do some of these nitpickies on all the vehicles. So hopefully it helps you make the decision. Is it right for you? Is it not? I know it's a lot of ripping on it, but some of these videos are good sometimes. It lets you see exactly what you're getting into, exactly what you see. And when I'm doing these walkarounds on these trucks, I'm dissecting them as best I can. And look at even some of the gaps on here that you're seeing. Okay, I mean, it's like I said, just the little stuff on here. I'm a stickler for it, and it drives me nuts, so it may not bother you, but they bother me. Okay, this stuff bugs me. You'll see it here in a minute, but we're going to rip these things apart. That way it's going to be a benefit for you to see what you do and don't like and how you feel. Okay, look at this gap here. Look at this gap right here below the red line. You'll see it again in a minute, but look at this on here. Watch, it'll come back into frame on that door. Look at these gaps. Okay, I mean, it's little stuff, but I got to clean that. I got to mess with that. I got to deal with that headache stuff. Okay, so just saying, little stuff that kind of gets annoying. But I hope you enjoy the video, and please do not take offense to it or get upset. I'm going to do this for every truck out there. I think when I get the time, we will continue with this because I think it's going to be very valuable to help people in their purchasing decisions. And maybe it'll also let these companies see some of the places where they could use some improvement. So we'll see what the benefit is. Put your comments down below, especially if I missed something you think should be added, or if you think I'm getting out of hand with something or whatever you think. But definitely fill me in. Let me know what you're thinking. Thanks for watching.